Yeah, so this is a little unusual what we're doing here, giving you guys kind of the opportunity to see what songwriting is like. Out here in the courtyard, a lot of the times you'll see performers singing songs that other people have done. Most of the stuff we're doing tonight was written by people up here on the stage. And there's meaning behind what we do as songwriters. So this fast song, and I'll tell you, it's not that fast, but it's the fastest of my songs tonight.
So what Jim's trying to tell you, he's slow and then
slow.
Molasses.
So I used
That's
to write a lot of songs for a rock band, and I guess it's all that repressed slow song stuff coming out of me now. So
It's good for you.
it is good for me. So this song happens to be about kind of just having a positive view of the world. So we live in a world where there's so much garbage going on, and it doesn't really matter what side of the political arena you're on, or what your neighborhood's like, what your job's like. I think we can all agree that there's stuff that just gets on our nerves. And my wife and I often talk about things that we hear people saying, hey, this really bothers me, and wanting to have a more positive outlook on everything. And so regardless of what you're going through, there's a lot of things in this world that you can celebrate, and I want to write a song about this. I'll tell you an interesting side in this one, and it makes it tough as a songwriter. I come up with a lot of ideas in the shower. Somebody else? You do too? So the problem that I have is, number one, it's really hard to write things down. And number two, it's next to impossible to have a co-writer on anything. So this is one I came up with on my own called So Much to Celebrate. Cool breeze on a summer day, walking through a park. Sweet tea and lemonade, staring at the stars. White clouds in a big blue sky, or gentle falling rain. Lazy days just passing by, sitting on the riverbank. And I gotta tell you, there's so much to celebrate. Feel the happiness breaking through. To chase the blues away, there's a beauty so sweet and true in each and every day. And I want you to know there's just so much to celebrate. Good friends gathered round for a backyard barbecue. Long drives with the windows down, listening to a favorite tune. Watching the fireflies play, or flowers as they bloom. Long naps taken in the shade, or a big old crescent moon. And I gotta tell you, there's so much to celebrate. Feel the happiness breaking through. To chase the blues away, there's a beauty so sweet and true in each and every day. And I want you to know there's just so much to celebrate. Warm glow of the morning sun, barefoot in the sand. Late nights with the one you love, reaching out for the hand. And I gotta tell you, there's so much to celebrate. Feel the happiness breaking through. To chase the blues away, there's a beauty in every blue, in each and every day. And I want you to know, yeah, I want you to know there's just so much to celebrate.
Jim Coates.
So, Mark did a song a little bit earlier about a small town, and I have to say, that's a pretty big small town. Yeah. So I did a geography test for the people here last night, and we'll see about you guys. I was fortunate enough growing up to have 4 wonderful grandparents, and I know not everybody can say that, but I can. One in particular was my dad's mom, and she was raised in the small town of Burdock, South Dakota. Does anybody know where Burdock, South Dakota is? You do not, David Jansen. I'm calling him out. Wait, close? No. So Burdock, the nearest big city to Burdock is about 20 miles south, and it's a town called Edgemont, South Dakota. Yes. You know Edgemont? I'm from South Dakota. Are you really? Okay. Edgemont has about 400 people. It's not a very big place. To help the rest of you know where that is, it's about 30 miles west of Hot Springs, South Dakota. Does anybody know where Hot Springs is? It's getting a little bit better. Okay, we'll try one more. That's about an hour southwest of Rapid City, South Dakota. All right, so you've heard of Rapid City. The rest of this is right over down along the Nebraska and the Wyoming border. But we spent a lot of summers hanging out at that house, this little old house that my grandfather helped build on 4th Avenue, a little dirt street in Edgemont, South Dakota. And all the aunts and uncles and cousins would gather there, and we would run around and just play and sing songs. And that's actually kind of where my music history came from, was hearing my dad and his 2 brothers and his sister and his mom play music in that house. Just outside of town, up on a hill, is this old graveyard sitting up on the edge of town outside of Edgemont. And that's where my grandmother's buried. She lived to be 99 years old. She was just a couple months shy of her 100th birthday, which is amazing. And what's even more amazing, she went on trips every once in a while, but her entire life was spent within 100 miles of where it started. So started in Burdock, and it ended in Rapid City. Never left the hills, always loved it. And so this song is just about reflecting back on somebody's life, and looking at a tombstone and seeing their birth date and their end date. And that really doesn't say a whole lot. What says a whole lot is that dash that's right between those 2. Under South Dakota skies, where black hills roll 100 miles, she was born the fall of 1916. The daughter of a ranching man got married to a ranching hand, and they settled down to start a family. And she worked and played and laughed and loved, and prayed each day to God above, a simple start to a humble legacy. She raised 3 young boys and her only girl, and sent them out into this world with words she lived out so faithfully. Go to church on Sunday morning, love your neighbor a little more than they deserve. Gather family round as often as you can, and know a Lord that loves His the dash between the dates. June of 1972 brought a grandson dressed in baby blue. Another mark placed on a family page. He spent summers in that sleepy town with uncles, aunts, and cousins round. Then laughter filled her house up as they played. And everyone who gathered there was covered by her constant prayers and great big love that never seemed to fade. Each one of us grew thankful for her caring heart and her open door, and the wisdom in the things she'd always say. Go to church on Sunday morning. Love your neighbor a little more than they deserve. Gather family around as often as you can, and know a heart that loves is gonna ache. And be thankful for the dash between the dates. And death is such a jealous friend that blood won't stop and love can bend, and sometimes even good comes to an end. Buried on a rocky hill where sagebrush rolls but time stands still, I can see her name carved in that cold, cold stone. Think of all the memories she made across a century. Spent a few short miles from her childhood home. And she taught me about truth and grace, and what it meant to live by faith, and how to know I'll never be voice is still a part of me that shaped who I turned out to be. My only wish is that she could have known. I go to church on Sunday morning, and I'm still trying to love my neighbor a little more. I love my family around as often as I can, and I know a heart that loves is gonna ache. I felt it since the day you went away. Still I'm thankful for the dash between the dates.
Thanks for joining us for this very special episode, In the Round. Show us love by hitting the like, and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified each time we post something new. See you next time, live from the Artisan studio at Brucemore.